Algebra is one of the most widely used aspects of mathematics. We use it on a daily basis. We use it to find materials. It's an aspect of mathematics that combines alphabets and numbers to find a missing item or to find materials. If, for example, you usually have 5 books in the location all the time, you know that you usually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books in the location. So you have 5. And on a particular day, you got to that location and realize that you can only see 2 books in that location. Let's erase these 2. You can only see 2 books in that location. So you can assume that you now have only 2 books in that location. So if you add it to some numbers that was supposed to be there, number of books that was supposed to be there, let's take that number of books that is missing as unknown. We don't know. Then you are supposed to have 5. If you add these 2 you can see, plus the ones you cannot see, you're supposed to have 5. You are doing algebra. And if you go ahead with that, you realize that if you want to simplify the particular equation you have here, you realize that 2 and 5, they are numbers. So you can actually take it across to meet 5. Okay? So if it goes across here, it's expressed by a positive number. If it goes across, it becomes minus. That's the rule of mathematics. Once it crosses equal to sign, it becomes minus. So you have x left here to be equal to what? 2 will go across, and you have 5 minus 2. This sign will change to minus. So that will give you x to be equal to what? 5 minus 2, 3. You see, 3 books are actually missing. Every day you use it in the grocery shop. You might have that you have 2 times of a particular item in your purse, added to 1 type of another item in your purse, and you give somebody some other 5 item minus 5. So you're not asking yourself at the end of the day, what are you left with? You're left with nothing. So the whole of your activities today, what you're not left with, what you're left with 0. This is an algebraic equation. If you have an equal to sign involved in it, it is an algebraic equation. Okay, what you have here is called a coefficient. A coefficient. X and Y here can take any value. So their value varies. So they are called variables. It can be 3, like we saw in this question here. They can be 5, it can be any value. So their value varies. They are called variable. And we'll have what? A constant. A number standing on its own is called a constant. This 5 and the 0, they are constant here. Their value will not change. They remain constant. The value is 5. This one is 0. But Y and X, the value varies. Okay, Y2 is always going with X. So this 2 is called the coefficient of X. Y here is same thing as 1Y. We only have 1Y here. The coefficient of Y here is also 1. But usually we don't write 1Y. We just keep it as Y. These are the things you see with algebra. You also see what we call operations. Plus, minus, divide, multiplication. These ones are operations. Operations. These are the things you see with algebras. Okay, algebra can come in a form like this. It can come in a form as 2x plus y. This is an expression. You have just expressed yourself that you have 2 of a particular item added to another type of item is what you have. It's just a mathematical expression. You are telling us in English form that you have 2 times of a particular item plus 1 type of another item again is what you have. This is an expression. Algebraic expression. You are expressing yourself. Algebraic expression. But if you decide to say 2x plus y is equal to 7, this is an algebraic equation. Algebraic equation. Is an equal to sign now. For expression, you can do what? You can simplify an expression. You can factorize an expression. You can simplify an expression. You cannot equal it to another thing. You can at least simplify it You can factorize it. Then you can expand it. Maybe a bracket. You can expand an expression. But for an equation, you can solve an equation because you're going to solve to find the value of x. You solve to find the value of y by taking all these ones to this side, everything to the right hand side. You now have y to be equal to everything on the right hand side. You have done what? You have solved the equation. Okay, you solve an equation, you factorize, simplify, and expand an expression. Get the difference? Now let's quickly take an example before we round up this introduction. Do well to subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Hit the bell notification sign. Subscribe and follow us on Facebook so I continue to have more of this content continue to come your way. Here we'll have 2x minus 5 to be equal to 1. This is an algebraic equation. We ask to find the value of x. This is how it's done. See an equation like a seesaw. You have one person on this other side. You have another person on this other side. And you must ensure that it remains equal, balanced. As it is now, this side is equal to this side. So you must maintain that status quo. So whatever you add to this side, you must do the same thing to this side. So that this seesaw remains in equilibrium. Here we'll have 2x minus 5 to be equal to 1. Minus 5 here and 1, they are numbers. They can actually go to the right hand side. 5 can go to the right hand side. While you leave 2x on the left hand side. So how do you do that? You want to remove this 5 from here. Okay, you know that if you introduce, this is minus 5. If you add plus 5 to it, it gives you what? 0. 5 minus 5 will give you 0. So what did you do quickly? You will now say 2x. You add 5 to this side. You keep this minus 5. You add 5 again to this other side. And I said, whatever you do to this left hand side, you must do to the right hand side. So again, you also do what? Add 5 to the right hand side. What are you now left with? This will remove this. 5 minus 5 will go. You'll be left with what? 2x. You'll be left with 2x to be equal to what? 1 plus 5. That is what? 6. Next, I told you that an equation has to be solved. So we are solving to find the value of what? X. Okay, what do? We have s multiplying what? 2 here. We need to remove it from here. If we put 2 here, this can divide this. We have only x left. And I told you that what you do to the right hand side, you must do to what? The left hand side. So if you agree that you can divide here by 2 to have only x left here, do the same thing to both sides. What is good for John should be good for what? Mike. What is good for John, what is good for John should be good for Mike. You divide here by 2 and also do the same thing in favor of what? John or Mike. So this cannot go with this. 2 here 1, 2 here give you 1. You have only x left there. Because 1 you got 8 times s will give you what? X is equal to 2 here 1, 2 here will give you what? 3. You have just done what? Solve for x. Thank you for your time.